Hi, my name is Anthony, and I'm going to show you how to get started using Stitch. In this video, I'll walk you through the process of setting up an integration, setting up a destination, and moving your first rows of data using Stitch. The whole process only takes a few minutes, but works best if you have all of your credentials ready to go. To make the setup process easier, you can add a team member from within your Stitch account. So let's get started. Here's my browser homepage, and you can see that I've got bookmarks for HubSpot, Google Cloud Platform, and Stitch. So let's go to HubSpot first, so you can see the data we'll be moving into our destination. The first thing I'll need to do is log into my HubSpot account that I created earlier and show you the data that we'll be moving into our data warehouse. If I go to Contacts, you'll see that HubSpot sets us up with a couple of sample contacts. For this demo, I'll only be moving these two rows of data to our destination, but you can use Stitch to move millions or even billions of rows of data each month. I'm going to log out of my HubSpot account so we can see how Stitch handles authentication when we're adding our integration. The next thing we'll need to do is log into Google Cloud Console so we can use BigQuery as our destination. Stitch isn't able to create a Google Cloud project for you, and since I don't have an existing project, I'll need to go ahead and create one. To create a project, I'll click on Select a Project from the homepage, then New Project. And now, let's give our project a name. We'll call it Stitch Video Walkthrough. And now that we've created a project, I'm going to go to the BigQuery console. This is where we'll run our select statement later to confirm that our data was moved successfully. I'll leave this tab open while we set up our Stitch account. Signing up for Stitch is really simple. First, I'll enter my email address and click Sign up for free. Then, I'll add a little bit of information about myself. And then I'll choose a password. Now that I've completed the sign up form, it's time to choose an integration. Stitch has over 100 integrations to choose from out of the box, and you can see that it's a pretty long list. So let's use the search functionality. One cool thing about search is that if you happen to come across an integration that we don't support, you can suggest an integration, learn about the Singer framework behind Stitch, or you can learn about our enterprise plan, where we'll build and maintain integration for you. Now let's get started with HubSpot. Setting up an integration is really easy. First thing we'll need to do is give this integration a name, so let's call it Stitch Video. Depending on the integration, you'll have certain additional options available. This option here allows you to change how far back you'd like to start syncing data from. For now, we'll use a default of 30 days. You can also choose how often you'd like to sync data. For HubSpot, this can be as often as every 30 minutes. By choosing Advanced, I can use a cron expression to create a highly customized schedule. But for now, I'll be using the default for this as well. And now I can go ahead and click Authorize. To authorize, I just need to log into my HubSpot account, and Stitch will check to make sure that it can connect to our account. Once it connects, we will see our list of tables that we can sync. From here, I can click in and out of different tables. After you're done setting things up, you'll be able to come back and add or remove tables and fields. I'm only interested in tracking contacts for now, so I'll go back and click on that. I can select the individual fields to sync one by one, or I can click this box and select Track All Fields. Since this is the only table I'm interested in for now, I'll hit Finalize and Continue. And now it's time to set up our warehouse. I'll point out that we have a new version of BigQuery in beta, but I'm going to be using the current version. We took care of these earlier, but it's important that you have the following things met: admin permissions, billing enabled even if you're on the free trial, and access to a Google Cloud Platform project which we created earlier. Now I'll sign in with Google. I'll select our account and click Allow to give Stitch access to our warehouse. Once we do that, we'll see our Google Cloud projects. Let's select the one we created earlier. When we hit Finish Setup, Stitch is just going to make sure that it can connect to our warehouse. And that's it. We can view our dashboard. In our dashboard, we can see the integration we just created. We can also see how many rows we've moved this period. Now I want to show you a few things that you can do with this integration. Any integration you add will have its own page like this. Here, we can see stats about our integration and see how many rows have been extracted, prepped, and loaded. In the bottom left, we can also see what percentage of our total build rows from this period are attributed to this integration. If we go to Tables to replicate, we can select additional tables that we'd like to track. In Extractions, we'll see any extractions that have taken place, which are batches of data pulled from your source. If we go to Loads, we will see any batches of data that have been loaded to our warehouse after being successfully extracted. One cool thing we can do in the Extractions page is click Run Extraction Now, which will kick off the process immediately. After hitting extraction, the process shouldn't take too long. I'll refresh the page a few times here. And we can see that extraction has started. And if I refresh the page again, we can see that the extraction has completed and that 2 rows of data have been loaded into our warehouse. Now what we can do is run a quick select statement in BigQuery. I'll refresh this page first. And now we can see that the schema has been created called Stitch Video, and here's our contacts table. So let's do a quick select statement. By running this query, we can see that contacts from our HubSpot account have successfully been loaded. From here, you can then add more integrations and then start joining, aggregating, and transforming your data in BigQuery. From there, you can use an analysis tool to get insights from your data. I hope this walkthrough was helpful, and I hope you're feeling ready to start using Stitch.